Time for my spread pick video. What is going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button whether you agree with me, you want to trash talk me, or just make fun of me. It's all good. And especially if you want to make money, hit the subscribe button. Why? Because on my spread picks for the year, I do 13 every single week. So far, I'm 44 and 34, including a lot of money line upsets. And that's where the big money is. And I have a few this week. Here we go. We start out with the 12 o'clock games. The first Big Ten game that I've gotten to do a spread pick on. And it's going to be Nebraska at Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 26 points. I'm taking those points, not because Nebraska's good and Ohio State's bad, but one thing that I have learned with the other teams is a big gap is going to produce a lot of rust. So Ohio State will be the much better team, but I think there will be some figuring out to do, and I think Ohio State will still win by 3 touchdowns, but 4 touchdowns, not too sure about that. Taking the points. Next game. Number 23, NC State at number 14, North Carolina. North Carolina laying 15.5. I'm also going to take the points in this game as well. NC State is a better team than people realize. I've had them ranked in my personal top 25 for the past 2 or 3 weeks. Finally, they make it into the AP top 25. Do I think they're going to upset North Carolina? I do not. I don't think they will. Could they? They could. They are talented enough. But I think this will be more of a close game. North Carolina licking their wounds off of Florida State. I know they're going to be out for vengeance, and it is at home, but I think NC State shows up and makes it a good game. Give me them points. Next game, Kansas at number 20, Kansas State. Kansas State favored by 19.5. I'm laying those points. But Golden Blue Dude, why would you do that? Kansas State doesn't have their starting quarterback, Skylar Thompson. Well, guess what? Kansas don't have their overall best player anymore either. Pooka Williams has decided to quit and opt out. So I think that evens out. And talent versus talent, Kansas State much better. Laying the points. Next game, Georgia Southern at number 25, Coastal Carolina. Another team that I've had in my personal top 25 for the past few weeks. Coastal Carolina is laying 5.5 points. I am going to lay those points. Coastal Carolina is a very, very good team. They have wins against Kansas, Campbell, Arkansas State, and Louisiana. For a group of 5, that's about as good of a resume as you can make. So, their quarterback, no one's really heard of him. Grayson McCall. He's 59 out of 87, 67.8%, 930 yards, 11 touchdowns, just 1 interception. And their defense, pretty good. 13 sacks, 10 pass deflections, and 5 interceptions. I think Coastal Carolina beats Georgia Southern convincingly. The only 2:30 game, I decided to pick it. FAU at number 22, Marshall. Marshall is a good team this year. They're undefeated. They're laying 16.5. I'm going to lay those 16.5. Grant Wells is a little bit struggling right now, but I think he'll get it back together. FAU, they've only gotten to play 1 game. I think they'll be rusty, and I think the better team, Marshall, is going to blow them out of the water. 3:30 games. Number 2, Alabama at Tennessee. Alabama laying 21.5 points. So last week, I picked Georgia to upset Alabama. I was wrong. So I'm going to come back and lay these points, right? Wrong. I'm still taking the points. I think Tennessee's run game against Bama's not so great defense, although Georgia made them look pretty good last week, is going to keep this game fairly close. I still think Alabama will win this game fairly convincingly, but not by more than 3 touchdowns. That half a point did it for me. Next game, number 3, Notre Dame at Pitt. Notre Dame favored by 10. I'm taking the points. Take Pitt on the money line. Pitt likes to trip big names up. Teams that are going for playoffs, national championships. Well, first of all, Notre Dame, not a great team. They're a terrible team. But they are number 3. It's at Pitt. Pitt gonna upset them. This is coming from a West Virginia fan. Pitt will upset Notre Dame. In a Big 12 battle, number 17 Iowa State against number 6 Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State laying 3.5. I'm taking the points in Iowa State on the money line. Look, Iowa State is starting to get on a roll. They've recovered from that first game against Louisiana. Brock Purdy is getting it together. Oklahoma State is going to be super rusty. Oklahoma State does have a good defense, but Iowa State's defense ain't that bad either. I think Iowa State will upset Oklahoma State. Nevertheless, take the points and pick Iowa State on the money line. Do it. Win some money. Next game, number 19, Virginia Tech at Wake Forest. Virginia Tech laying 9 points. Lay those points. Virginia Tech is a very good team. Wake Forest is not that good at all. I think Virginia Tech beats Wake Forest at least by 2 touchdowns. Let's move on to a 4 o'clock game. I only picked one, and it is Georgia Tech at Boston College. Boston College laying 3.5. I'm laying those points. Boston College had a bad game last week, and they let me down. But Georgia Tech is not a good team. I repeat, not a good team. This game could get ugly. I'm also going to pick one 5:30 game. And you already guessed it. It is the West Virginia at Texas Tech game. West Virginia is laying 3 points. I'm going to lay those points, not because I'm a homer and this and that. You know me by now, but Texas Tech is not a very good team. They're borderline right up there with Kansas. West Virginia, our biggest problem is shooting ourselves in the foot. We have the number 1 defense in the Big 12. We have one of the best running backs in the Big 12, if not the best. The problem is our quarterback. But I think West Virginia will probably get down in the beginning like they do in every game, but in the end, they will come out with a win, and I think West Virginia wins this by 2 touchdowns. And then, last but not least, the 7:30 games. We got 2 big ones. Number 18, Michigan at number 21, Minnesota. So my second Big Ten pick of the year. Michigan is laying 3 points. I am going to take those points and suggest that you take Minnesota on the money line. Minnesota, Tanner Morgan is back. This is at Minnesota, and I think this loss, because I'm picking Michigan to lose, will immediately put Jim Harbaugh on the hot seat. In a 8-game season, Michigan could have 4 losses. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Penn State, and Ohio State. And that's not going to fly in Ann Arbor. I'm picking Minnesota to upset Michigan. Then my last pick, the biggest game of the day in my opinion. And it's a group of 5 non-power 5 matchup. I love it. And it is 3-0, number 9, Cincinnati at 5-0, number 16, SMU. SMU laying 2.5. I'm laying the 2.5, and here's why. Cincinnati's offense is actually struggling this year. Quarterback Desmond Ridder, 47 for 78, 60%, 597 yards, 6 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. The running game, not much better. Jared Dokes, 42 carries, 145 yards, just 3.5 yards a carry. On the flip side, let's look at SMU's offense. Quarterback Shane Buechele, he is starting to get it rolling, guys. 119 out of 177, that's 67%. 1,710 yards, 12 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. And yes, a good running game to go with that. Running back Ulysses Bentley, 74 carries, 506 yards, 6.8 yards a carry. I think SMU embarrasses Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati will have some things to figure out after this. And SMU, right up there with BYU, will be the best chance for the group of 5 non-power 5 teams to get into the playoffs. That's all I got for you for this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.